Hey guys, fellow millionaires, dividend investors, value investors. Um, I want to talk about bank stock that I had bought years ago. Um, Not that long ago, it was a couple years ago. I had, I think I mentioned this previously, but I had bought um, this company at the same time that I had bought DAC. Um, and As y'all know, or some of you know, I had bought DAC when it was like, I think it was around 350 or somewhere around there, 350. Um, somewhere in the same time frame where I had bought DAC, I had also bought bbar, or I don't know how you say it, but BBAR or BBVA. And back then I was looking at Argentina because Argentina had a bunch of bad things happening to it. They had a lot of problems. but Yeah, my portfolio at that time was 50-50. I had 50% in DAC and 50% in bbar. And as you I had bought DAC, I want to say at 350, and it ended up going to over $100, $102. But I sold it when it was going up every day, which I think was a major mistake. I was happy when I look at my account and you know, I wake up and I'm up $1,000. I go to lunch, I'm up another grand, and you know, the old was it Tupac or made a G today, but you didn't make it in a sleazy way. So yeah, so this was like a 30x opportunity that I missed out on, my little $5,000, because at that time I only had 10,000, and I put 5,000 in DAC and I had 5,000 in bbar, and my little $5,000 times 30. Let's see. Would at least been 150,000. I think when I had done the calculation, it was more like 200,000 or maybe even 250. But I mean, I made a profit. I was happy with that. I had bought it back when the market cap was 100 million. And that time I thought it was worth 2 billion. But because I thought the whole economy was going to collapse, that's why I sold it. But just looking at bbar, in a long time, like nothing happened, and I don't know. I can't see here on the chart when it was 350. Maybe somewhere in here, July 2020. But I think I had bought this when it was like 250. That was the price I was buying this at. It was somewhere. It was either like here or here that I was buying bbar, and they had a really good dividend. They were paying probably 10% dividend. Buffett loves banks. I don't necessarily like banks anymore. I try to stay away from financials. but I thought it was a safe bet. And you can see, I mean, it pretty much didn't move for 1, 2, 3 years. 3 years it pretty much stayed the same. And then all of a sudden here in 2024, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the catalyst was. But you can see even the 52-week range was $3.78 to $12. And back when I had bought it, I think it was, these were in the 20s. So I was hopeful that, if I'm buying it at 2 and it might go to 20 one day, I can get a 10% yield while I sit back and wait. And lo and behold, here, 4 years later, I bought it at $2.50, went to 5, that's a double up, $7.50, that's a triple, 12, that's a quadruple up, and it was over 12. I believe it was over 12 at some point. Maybe it's not. 11.87, pretty close to 12. So that was basically almost a quadruple up. So I mean, here I had my money in 2 stocks. I was heavily concentrated. Maybe that was smart. Maybe that wasn't. But here I get 30x in one and a quadruple up in the other one. I mean, of course, I sold bbar a long time ago, but if I had held it, but I wasn't wrong. I just want to, I was right, and I don't necessarily recommend only having 2 stocks. I would feel more comfortable with at least 4 or 5, and the more crazy ones you invest in, I'd rather have more, maybe 20. But I'm like Buffett, like if you know 100% that this one is undervalued and is definitely going to go up in your mind, why would you only want to put 5% of your money in that? And then you want to invest in your best idea. And to Buffett, it makes no sense investing in your 15th best idea or your 20th best idea. So, even if your portfolio only has 4 or 5 stocks, if you heavily believe in those companies or have done your research, but sometimes it might take a couple years. Like in this case, it took 4 years for something to happen. I mean, yeah, you were still getting 10% dividends because you were buying down here at 2. The dividend now is 3. But because you're buying at 2, your dividend yield is 10. So you're still making an income, still getting a return on your money. So on top of the 10% yield from dividends, plus your stock quadrupled. So I'm not saying that I'm right on everything. I'm not right on everything. I've made mistakes. I've had opportunities and missed them, or didn't act in certain situations. But But yeah, this proves to me that value investing is alive and well. It works. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's boring, but I thought this was a safe bet. I looked at a lot of the banks. A lot of banks were cheap back then. A lot of the banks were trading at 6, 7 times earnings. This one was probably trading at 2 times earnings. And even DAC today, if this PE ratio is correct, they're only trading at 3 times earnings. And when I bought it, they didn't even have a dividend. Now they're paying a dividend too. But the problem with the when I bought DAC, it was a bankrupt company, but the bank owned most of it. They had $1 billion in debt, but it was trading at $100 million, and I thought they were worth $2 billion. Granted, they had $1 billion in debt. I thought they were worth at least $1 billion. So here we it took it's been a couple years since it was at its high again, but yeah, I mean this was a case where I was highly concentrated in 2 companies. And a lot of times, sometimes your investments might take even 7 years to fully materialize. And so, I mean, when you're buying things at the bottom of the barrel where no one else is looking, where no one else is interested, sometimes it might take a while. Like I said, when I bought DAC, I was looking for the worst companies of the last 5 years, and there was numerous articles saying this is the worst company to buy. This is it. This is the worst one to invest in. Everyone hated it. No one loved it. It's a piece of crap. You just wasted your money. You're going to be a bag holder. Blah 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 blah. And lo and behold, it's a 30 bagger. Lo and behold, it's a 4x. Plus, you're getting a 10% return dividends while you sat there and waited. So, not to toot my own horn too much, but the last few years I haven't had any grand slams. I haven't had any home runs, but I mean, with PBR, I mean, it's trading at 14, close to 15. When I started buying it, it was at 10, basically went to 17, paying a 20% dividend. I guess you can call that a win. But yeah, I haven't had any 10 baggers lately, or 20 baggers, or 30 baggers, but it's okay. I mean, you got a long life to invest in different companies and do some research and try to make a good amount of money investing. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I wasn't even aware. I had talked to my old pharmacy friend the other day, and I had got him to buy some bbar ages ago, and he's like, dude, bbar's at like $12 or something, or close to it, and I had no idea because I haven't paid attention, haven't been following it or looking at it in a very long time. But just to goes to show that in that scenario, I was correct. But sometimes they take a couple of years. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.